CNG Media.
Welcome to Vino with Vito and Dave Taramina.
What's up, V?
How you doing, pal? I just
Awesome.
got to say one thing. I can't believe you did it, but look what you did. In my Robert Graham holder here, look,
Yes.
you actually bought a bottle of wine.
Not only did I buy a bottle,
believe it.
Not only did I buy a bottle of wine, V, I used the Can we hold that up for the camera?
Sure.
Robert Graham wine holder. Look at that. Yeah. And I got you a French wine.
French, but I'm
So-
Italian.
Yeah, but you know why? Because your office had the French wine tasting 2 weeks ago. Got me in the mood for some French wine, so I've been on a kick.
All right.
All right, so
How about this shirt? This shirt looks French, doesn't it?
it's brand new, isn't it?
It's a brand new Robert Graham. Look at this.
So,
limited edition. Dave, look at the collar. How great is
Wow.
that?
Can we
huh?
get that on camera?
Look,
please?
look.
Look at
that.
Oh my God. Can I ask you seriously though? How much did that cost?
That I can't tell.
Can't tell.
That I won't tell you. You got to go to the Robert Graham store to find out. But hey, I love these shirts. I'm older. You know what the crazy thing is, and the reason, another reason I still do a lot of Robert Graham and I buy a lot of Robert Graham shirts. I was in the store shopping, and I see an older gentleman, older than me. And we're
Ancient.
Right. And we're talking, and he goes, I go to him, I go, wow, that's a nice shirt, looks good. And he goes to me, the same thing we were wearing, we were shopping. And he goes, you know what? He goes, as you get older, you want to look good.
Yeah.
And that's why I come to this store. See?
Okay.
Look, I got older, I want to look good.
Now, is there
how
a
we-
younger demographic that wears Robert
Yeah,
Graham?
my son
okay.
Ralphie actually started wearing Robert
All
Graham
right.
too. So
Now, is Robert Graham like an artist, or what's the story?
he must be an artist or something. Every shirt is like
It's a
wearable
work of art.
There you
I
go.
love it.
There you
So
go.
I'm glad you're opening the bottle, and you know, I this makes me good for at least 6 episodes of wine.
Remember, next week you're bringing another bottle. Bring Italian.
Oh
all
my
right?
God! So V, what we wanted to do, is this episode is a little different, right? We're filming right now. It's the end of February, 2024. Spring market is almost here, right? And no matter where you go, a cocktail party or wherever, like sports event, everyone wants to talk about the real estate market.
Everywhere you go, everybody talks about real estate. I was at a function last night. First thing, hey, how's the real estate market? Hey, are you busy? Hey, what's going on? How's inventory?
Yep.
Hey, it's a topic. Real estate has always been a topic, and now I think it's more of a topic because of how it's going. I mean, no inventory, no high interest rates. It's just crazy out there.
Yeah, no, there was an article actually on Redfin's website, Redfin News, right? That housing market activity lost steam in January as mortgage rates stopped falling, actually, right? And they've stayed pretty flat, but prices kept going up, right? So for like the audience, rates are flat or going up a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
How about we cheer before?
Yeah, salute.
Salute. How'd I do? Did I pick a good one for you?
You know what? Not bad.
Listen.
You must have did your homework, huh?
Listen, I'm not going to bring a lot of wine because I'm about quantity. No, it's quality, not quantity. So,
So I guess this bottle costs you, what, about $7?
well, rates are high. So let's kind of talk about it, right? And like just get your thoughts. I want to talk on a national level,
Okay.
and then we'll zero in on New Jersey, right? But here's some stats, Veed. I think you're going to find interesting. You ready? Actually, let's see if you can guess it. In the United States, what is the median sale price in the United States?
In the United States,
Yeah.
that's a tough one. I would say right now, somewhere in the whole United States,
Throw a number out.
I don't know, upper twos.
402,000.
Wow, it's gone that high in the whole. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
When you started in this business, it was probably like 100,000.
Not
yeah.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah. 400,000.
Yeah.
Medium. Oh my God.
What's crazy in the United States is new listings. This is for the month of January. There's only 510,000 listings, which is pretty flat.
In the whole United States.
In the whole United States. That's newer listings, right?
Right.
Months of supply, right? So for the audience, what that means is you put a house all the houses on the market right now. If starting today, no new houses go on the market and you just sell through the inventory, that is the months of supply, right?
Correct.
So basically what you would run through. How many months of supply do you think there are?
Right now, you're lucky if you have 2 months of supply.
3 months.
Yeah.
3 months.
2 to 3 months.
So 3 months. How many average days on the market do you think you have in the United States?
Houses that are on the market.
Yeah, how many days are they staying on the market?
Probably 10 to 15 days.
So this is what's interesting, 49 days, the whole United States.
Wow, so you got a lot of areas that the houses are actually still sitting.
Some parts, especially like some areas like in Florida, houses are staying on the market much longer and they're actually dropping prices. So, we're kind of, we're focused on like North Jersey, right? Because that's where, we do a majority of our business, but where, like there's multiple bids, but it's not like that in the rest of the country.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up. So in Florida, they're staying on the market longer.
Yep.
They're starting to reduce their prices.
Yep.
What do you think that means for us?
It's hard to say, right? Like, so it used to be like in the real estate market and in economics, when New York and New Jersey had a cold, Florida had the flu, right? Like, it used to be like that was like kind of the correlation between
That's
the two.
what I'm trying to get at.
So it's hard to say. Like, so if you're talking about like where the market is going to go in North Jersey, it's hard to compare it though to Florida because the economy is a little bit different here, right? Like, there's the economy's better in the New York metro area, I think, than it is in Florida.
Than it is in Florida,
Yeah.
right? But the other thing you got to remember too. Think back in 2008, 2009, 2007, 6. Florida got hit before we did.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So right after Florida got hit, naturally it took a little while, and it did come up to us.
Yep.
So if Florida's getting it now, it's a good possibility that we might start getting, prices to come down. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you look at history, that's what I think happened, many years ago.
So let's preface this by saying, like whatever you and I are talking about, we're not saying like this is not advice.
This is not advice.
This is
Absolutely
not advice.
Not.
And
we're just,
we're just talking.
Talking. That's it.
So to your segue, right? So a couple of sources here, right? So going back to the MBA, which is the Mortgage Bankers Association, okay, purchase applications were down year over year in January, 12%. Okay. So year over year, purchase applications are down, which could be a little bit of buyer fatigue, whatever the case is. Redfin has a home buyer demand index, and home buyer demand on their index is down 18%. Now those are good, and those are samples, right? But I like this one, okay, because this is probably the most accurate. Google searches for homes for sale year over year are down about 11%.
Wow.
Yeah. And then finally, touring activity, right? So Showing Time, I guess they're a technology company. Showing Time actually has reports that touring activities up 10%.
There you go. Now here, we're talking about the Northeast, North Jersey, and everything else. Florida, it's a little slower.
Yep.
I was talking to an agent the other day. He had 52 offers on his property.
Yeah.
52.
It's crazy.
So but again, getting back to the other part where, hey, we think it's going to happen. It ain't happening anytime soon.
Right.
You're getting 52 offers on a property.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
So now let's just kind of fast forward a little bit, right? So 4 weeks ending February 11th, right? So basically from the beginning of the year to February 11th, right? So we have a little bit more of a snapshot of 4 week window, right? The median asking price is down to $395. That's national. This is national. Don't forget. Do you want to guess nationwide what the median monthly mortgage payment is?
On 400,000 with taxes, everything.
Just the mortgage, not the tax and insurance.
Just the mortgage, you're probably 22 to 2,500.
2,600.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's
that's not bad. Hit the back of that Robert Graham collar. So, and months of supply so now remember, we gave you the 3-month supply, reform supply was, year over year. But the past 4 months, so it's February 23rd today, so the past 4 weeks, I'm sorry, you're still at 4.2 months of supply, and average time on the market, 50 days, but 22% of homes sold above listing.
Yeah, you're still seeing them
Yep.
above listing. We still have a crisis here in New Jersey.
Yep.
In our area, Passaic, Morris, Bergen, and Essex County. All right, I'll give you an example why the prices are still as high as they are, and why you're getting the 52 offers and everything else. I was on the computer the other day, and I said, let me check North Haledon. I have a brother-in-law, sister-in-law that live in North Haledon. How many houses are for sale? I click on, 2 houses come up. One's an attorney review, and one said highest and best the next day.
Yeah.
So if somebody was looking to purchase a house in North Haledon, there's nothing out there.
Nothing.
So now what would happen if that one house comes up in North Haledon for sale?
Everyone's flocking to it.
Everybody's flocking to it. That's where you come back with the 52 offers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's funny because the metro areas that have the largest year over year of median sale price, top 5, right? Number 1, Newark area, which is our area. Newark metro area covers most of North Jersey, White Plains, New York.
Right.
Number 2, New Brunswick, which pretty much covers, Central
Mostly
Jersey.
Central Jersey, right.
Yeah. Then you have Miami, Anaheim, and Warren, Michigan. I don't know how the hell Warren, Michigan.
Michigan
No
got
offense to Warren, Michigan, but I don't know how the hell they got there. But
Is it near Detroit?
yeah, I don't know. I never even heard of it. But so it's and so that just shows you, taking it back to a level of where we're at is, I mean, if you live in New Jersey, it's time to sell. It's a great time to sell.
It's the best time to sell. And you keep telling everybody, hey, you know what? There's nothing for sale. What's going to happen if you put your house on the market? You're going to get top dollar. You're going to get more than top dollar. People are still waiving, appraisals, waiving inspections, waiving everything just to get that house purchased, right?
Yep.
They're doing whatever they got to do. Again, as long as you price it correctly, you're going to get a good price. That brings me to this, right? Mm-hmm. I know someone right now that's going through this.
Okay.
A retired couple.
Okay.
Okay. And we've talked about this in our show many times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's got a small reverse mortgage on the property.
Okay.
The house is basically paid off. Okay. Got an unbelievable price, which I don't even think it was possible to get that price. The house actually appraised. He's ready to go. Now he's having cold feet.
Okay.
Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Just him and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, go rent something. If you can't buy anything now, rent something for a year.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now he's got a little reverse mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
and I know the reverse mortgages naturally. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying the interest, but the interest just gets tacked on.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's a reverse.
It's a
instead
reverse.
A mortgage, forward mortgage, you pay the interest. Reverse mortgage, typically,
They put it on.
they gets tacked onto the principal.
Tacked on top.
Right.
Okay. So his principal, his interest might be, say, $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's got a little reverse mortgage, paying, I believe, over 11%.
Right.
Over 11% on a reverse mortgage.
Yep.
Now, he's going to probably bank, say, $600,000, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. That's your nest egg. That's your money you're going to walk away with.
Right.
I keep telling everybody, and I can't stress this enough, take the $600, put it in the bank. If you're getting 5%, it's $30,000.
Nah.
That's giving you $2,500 a month. Well,
Right.
I'm going to go rent. I'm throwing my money away. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Because your interest is paying that rent. But besides that, if you're paying 500 on interest only on your reverse, you're paying 800-900 on your taxes, another 100 on insurance. That's about 1,500 a month. You're paying out of pocket while you're living in the house and not getting any interest on that 600 grand.
Yeah.
So what's it costing you? $1,000 a month? That's a no-brainer.
You know what the problem is that I think sometimes, especially in finance, right, especially in real estate, everyone has like a cookie cutter answer, right? Like it's like what they were brought up to think or what their parents told them or whatever, right? So like sometimes I hear that, like the rent thing you just said, right? Like, oh, I'm throwing away my money. You're not though. Like like you have to like sometimes finance is all about timing and strategy, right?
Right.
So, in certain cases, right? Like you go your whole life maybe and you don't buy a house and and you just pay someone else's mortgage by renting. Like, okay, maybe in that situation you could have better took advantage of buying a house, right? But in that client's particular case, without knowing their overall financial picture, it may make sense to rent. Even if it was $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year you paid in rent, you still are ahead of the game because you sold your house and pocketing $600.
Right.
Yeah. So like, and you know what? And there's another factor to it. Like, you're not going to be stressing. Take a year. Look for your home. And on the flip side, okay, and it's funny now, like that we're talking about this. On the flip side, let's say that same customer sells their house and then rents, right? Who's to say within 5 months, 6 months, when they make an offer on a home, they're going to be a better positioned buyer because they don't have anything to sell.
That's right. That's right.
So in that respect, renting's not wasting money.
No, it's not wasting money. Now you're renting, okay? You have all that cash in the bank. You don't have the stress. You always said to yourself, I want to move to Florida 3 months a year or whatever.
Right.
Now you can do that.
Right.
You're in a rental. You don't have to worry about the taxes or at your house. You don't have to worry about any of that. And people still forget the maintenance on your house. Mm-hmm. It's not only your taxes, insurance. What about the maintenance?
Yeah. Gas, electric, snow removal,
all
landscaping.
Right. You still have to pay for all
water
that.
bill.
If it was someone in my family, and I tell everybody when they're at that moment in life there, you're retired or whatever, and it's getting too much for you, take advantage now. We don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. You don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah.
Where's the market going to go?
Yeah.
What happens if the country goes into recession again? What happens if mortgage rates keep going up? We don't know where we're going.
Right.
Prices can come down. Prices can still go up. You're never going to hit it.
Right. But what happens like when that same conversation, right, and the same person is like, and maybe you could speak to this because I handle the financing end, right? Buying, selling. I don't deal with rentals too much or at all. So like, what if they tell you, oh, I hear that there's no rentals available, right? Is that true?
They're building apartments everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Every town you go into, what do you see?
Apartment buildings. Lincoln Park, they're building like 2 developments, and
there you go.
Yeah, everywhere they're building. You're right.
Lincoln Park, Little Falls, Fairfield,
Wayne,
yeah, East Hanover. Everywhere you turn, they're building apartments, rentals. They're building. Maybe they should start building more senior citizen.
55 and older.
55 and over apartment rentals.
Yep.
But still, you have regular rentals you can go into.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I think, like, if anything, if anyone's listening to this and really, like, thinking about selling and they don't know where they're going to go, I always tell my clients, too, like, listen, sell your home if you want to sell, right? Obviously, don't just sell for the sake of selling.
Right.
But if you want to sell and it's just too much for you to operate that house, right? It's okay to rent. Take a breath, right? Maybe wait a couple months. Some tenants do month to month, but even if it's a year, right? Maybe, I don't know, have a clause in there that you could, pay out of like 6 months or whatever. But I guess my point is like, if you, right now it's very difficult. People do it, I mean, but to sell and buy, right? If you're not willing to deal with that stress, it's okay. Rent for a little bit.
That's it.
And then buy when you're ready.
When you're ready.
When you don't have a gun to your head. Like, I gotta move. Right. I gotta overbid or whatever the case is.
Because that's what's happening now. Hey, okay, yeah, I sold my house. I got to go buy this house. Now I'm pressured. I got to pay, $50,000 more, $100,000 more because I got no choice. Whatever. Go rent.
Right. I do think though that, like with the inventory, right? Like, we're going to get more inventory. It's going to be
We're starting to see it now. I mean,
Yeah.
in our town alone, I think we got 3 new houses
Right.
just within the past couple of days. So
There is a housing economist, and hopefully we give him a shout out. I met him in person last year, Logan Modashami, who's with Housing Wire, and he's awesome. And he always says like people. I can't quote him exactly, but people get married, they date, they mate, they get married, have kids, need to move up or something to that extent, right? So there's always going to be life events that are going to happen. Divorce, senior care, right? Senior living is a big thing, as well, like you just mentioned before. So there's going to be life events where we're going to get more inventory. It's inevitable, but it's just going to be a little bit slower, I think. So in that respect, it is truly a great time to sell. You're going to, you buy to sell, right? You buy real estate for the most part to sell. So if you're in a position to sell, it's a great time to do it. Like me personally, like I'm, my kids are in, middle school and high school and, like I'm nowhere near selling. But I got to tell you, I would really think about it if my kids were adults and it was just my wife and I mean, it's very hard to turn down the highest prices we've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. I was with somebody last night. We were in the car and, we're driving to an event and he's going, he goes, my daughter's going to be graduating next year. He goes, I'm looking already. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm moving south or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I'm already looking down there because, he's financially can buy down there. And I'm like, yeah, dude, why not? I mean, if that's your intentions, you want to move out of the area. And again, our area is so damn expensive. Mm-hmm. Go and, do it. But
well, and, I think things are different now too because with like work from home and mobility and it used to be like, oh well, I have to move for my job, right? I was on a conference call with my company the other day and there was 20 people on there and they were from all over the country, right? So you could live anywhere and work for a company now for the most part.
Right. Like years ago you couldn't do that, but now you can.
Yeah. Right. So that's the other thing. You could actually sell out of New Jersey and, move to the South, still make, for the most part, New York and New Jersey money and live in Georgia or South Carolina or wherever, like Tennessee. And, it's, some companies do adjust if you move.
Right.
But not all of them.
Like you can move to Florida and still sell mortgages up here in New Jersey.
That's right.
You're in Florida, and when somebody wants to talk to you, you can do Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Have from your waist up, you have a shirt on, and you don't have to worry about it.
You
don't have to get dressed in the morning.
I'm not even. I'm just wearing shorts right now.
You're wearing shorts now, but you got a nice jacket on.
I'm kidding. I have jeans. Well, listen. You know what? You made fun of me for my lumberjack shirt. I was actually looking at it. I actually posted on my YouTube channel. I don't know if you saw it. The Mortgage Maven. I'm going to plug myself. So, I posted on there. And, of course, I put the one where you made fun of me. You called me a lumberjack. So, with my flannel. And, but I classed it up a little bit today for you. I brought wine.
You brought wine. Next thing you got to do is get a Robert Graham shirt. You got to go shopping there.
I don't
Come
know.
on.
I'll get a Robert Graham undershirt. So, V, one more story here that I find interesting, right? Like talking about mortgage market, and I know you love to talk about, finance and whatnot. So, this is from CNBC. So, Fed Governor Waller wants more evidence that inflation is cooling before cutting interest rates. It feel like, I don't feel like the Fed, it's funny. Like, I don't think the Fed really, understands, listen, who am I, Dave Taramina? What do I know, what the Fed understands? But, I'm in the trenches here as you are, right? And, there is a malaise in the housing market right now because everyone's waiting for rates to drop.
Right.
Everybody's talking, well, I'll just wait.
Yeah, we had that hiccup a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And now they came right back up.
And they came back up. And Fed Governor Waller here states that he wants more evidence that inflation is cooling before cutting interest rates, right? And you've heard me give this presentation in your office and for those listening in other real estate offices as well, right? It's inflation and jobs, right? When those two, when inflation comes down and unemployment goes up, you'll start to see interest rates, mortgage rates start to come down, right? For the most part, that's the way The secondary market works for the most part. So Fed's not helping us, right? Like, by saying that, this was on Thursday, yesterday, and rates have been going up today, right? So that's a problem, right? And what are your thoughts on that? Like, I know you love, I know you love to comment on the market. You're an armchair economist when we're off the air. So what are your
since we're on the air, I'm not commenting.
Yeah, now you're gonna freeze up, right?
No comment.
Here's your chance, man. Everyone's listening. Vito, what's gonna happen?
Dave, you know everybody always called me doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Okay, because the market just kept going up and up. Back in 07, I basically called it.
I remember.
I called it. Lately, I've been saying, hey, within the last year, the year before, this market just keeps going and going. And I thought we were going to cool down.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's not cooling down.
No.
It just keeps going and going until we get inventory and until the rates kind of calm down. I think a good average would be 5 to 6% on the rates.
Yep.
A little bit more inventory. I think we'll finally stabilize with prices and everything else. People need to realize, hey, should I sell now? Why am I waiting? If I'm thinking about going, just do it. But I think the Fed, should start cutting rates coming soon.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, yes, inflation is still a little high, but come on. How bad?
It's not that high.
It's not that high.
I think right now it's unemployment. The Fed doesn't want the economy to overheat because prices are still high. I mean, if you look at for anybody that really wants to wonk out on this stuff, if you look at the consumer price index, comes out monthly. CPI is a measure of all the cost of goods, typically minus food and energy, the most volatile ones. And you look at I think the only thing that price was down or eggs, everything else is still high.
Still high. Yeah. I don't do the shopping. My wife Anna always goes shopping, but I'll see the grocery bills and I scratch my head.
Yeah.
And it's just me
It's
and
just
my
you
wife
two.
home.
Yeah.
Ralphie's in school,
And you lost weight. I mean, what are you spending money on?
I don't know, but those grocery bills are still high. Ann, you listening?
How much of that is wine? Or is that separate?
No comment.
How much do you think you spend a month on wine?
Well, we used to make our own.
Here he goes, backpedaling.
We used to make our own wine. So really didn't spend much on wine at all.
But now
I think we still have a little stash left. But
do you ever buy white wine?
No. I used to like white wine.
Okay.
That was many, many years ago. But now no more white wine.
But I think
it's just red wine.
I think you're right though. If we get so that's a real thing, right? It's called kitchen table economics, right?
Right.
So when you have somebody looking at the price of homes, right, the interest rates, and they're looking at their food bill, right, that's real. Those are real concerns, right? So until that's resolved, and the only way you're really going to get that resolved is what you said, is rates getting cut. We're not going to have another crash like 07, 08. That's definitely never. That's not going to happen. You just need. It's all on the Fed right now.
That's it. The Fed's holding everything back. The Fed, you listening?
Fed. You know what? Let's send the Fed a note. Listen to Vino with Vito.
And listen to what we're saying. Start cutting those rates. I was speaking about everything being high. I ran into somebody sells cars, used cars. He goes, I can't sell a car. I go, why? He goes, interest rates on a used car were like 10, 11%.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? How are you going to buy a used car at 10, 11% interest rate? We're not used to that, I mean, used cars, 10, 11%, can't sell a car.
Yeah.
That's the stuff you don't want. Where
Right.
You can't, all of a sudden, you're not buying this, you're not buying that. That's when we're going to hit a recession. That's when, it's going to, the shit will hit the fan.
Yeah.
That you don't want. So
Exactly.
They definitely need to start cutting rates so people can get back on track. I agree.
Well, V, I think you've solved all the problems of housing and the economy. So, and you finished your wine. So I'm going to throw it back to you.
My wine. Dave, I think we had a great conversation. We're going to do it again. On that note, one day, and that day will come when you need to buy or sell a house. And when that day does come, you need to call Vito Cantuzzi, the godfather of Northern New Jersey real estate.